Greetings. Today is the exact solar eclipse in Aquarius. New moon in Aquarius also happens to be a solar eclipse at 28 degrees Aquarius. I've already been talking about this eclipse quite a bit, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time today. I'll just kind of give you the mood of the day, sort of post eclipse, and just some big picture thoughts. I am Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Tuesday, February 17th. So first of all, if you want to learn more about this eclipse, I will put the links to my two most recent videos in the description for this video because those are some really great resources for understanding the big picture of why this eclipse is so potent and so meaningful. All eclipses are important. They're all important gateways to something new, some kind of shift or new awareness. It tends to be a time around an eclipse when things shift in new directions, or we open up new possibilities, or maybe some new thinking. It can vary, obviously, from eclipse to eclipse, but they're important moments. And this one is significant, big picture, because it's important, and in a square to Uranus, which I talked about yesterday, but also the bigger picture of what is happening with the outer planet alignments in 2026. Saturn and Neptune, specifically, in their exact conjunction on February 20th. So just 3 days after this eclipse. So we've got all those crazy alignments. And again, watch my last two videos for more of a deep dive on that. For today, I just want to point out that the moon goes into Pisces just 2 hours after the exact eclipse. So 6:08 p.m. 6:08 a.m. Pacific time is when the moon goes into Pisces, and the exact eclipse is at 4 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. So with that shift of the moon into Pisces, we move into the dissolving energy of Pisces, the confusion, but also the transcendence. So, in a sense, this eclipse energy is a little bit like being at the point or near the point of an explosion, right? When something sudden happens that releases a huge amount of energy that happens all at once, that you don't even have the time or ability to process. It simply happens too fast. But what happens is that you end up doing that processing over time. So if you've been present to or witness to something that happened, that has that energy of suddenness, of sudden change, of something being released or happening so quickly that you don't have time to process it. That's kind of the energy of what we're dealing with now, although it's in such massive ways in the collective that it's going to take time for us to really process the significance of what is happening at this moment. It's going to take time to understand the impact of what is being released or what is being brought to light. So, and look in your own personal life at what is coming to light. You could be noticing shifts in your awareness about your own patterns, or something that you couldn't see before. It could be having to do with a relationship or creative work, or something that is being unlocked or unleashed or released or shifting or really moving in a way that it really hasn't found its stability just yet. And that will happen over time. So as the moon goes from the exact eclipse, and again, like, might not be a big explosion in your life. It might not be, but it's that feeling of something that has changed so quickly that you haven't had time to process it. and you will be processing it over time, and you will be bit by bit sort of, you know, be able to see more of what has unfolded or the impact of what has been changing or something along those lines. With the moon then going into Pisces, we have that ability to either either do that escapism that Pisces is so famous for, to do something that helps us to check out or be in denial or ignoring or in the fog of confusion to just say, oh, I don't know what's going on, so I'm not going to even deal with it. Or we can use that Pisces moon energy to come into our hearts, to remember the bigger picture of what is important, what is true, what is meaningful, even at the very most basic, most simple levels. So, where is love in this moment? That is a great orienting question with the Pisces moon. Where is love in this moment? Look for the love. Look for the love in your life. And when I say love, of course, I mean something much bigger and more complicated than romantic love. Not that romantic love is not complicated, because it is, but that complexity of all of the ways that love expresses and all of the ways that love moves in our lives, and some of the ways that love feels good, and some of the ways that love feels confusing or love feels hard. But at the same time, where that love is, what we know is that there's goodness there. There is something that we want to invest in. There's something we want to experience more of. So, and we've had so many, I'm gonna talk about the Emergence Guest Speaker Series. Oh, yes. So we had Cynthia Backer come and share with us about touching your heart, to remember what's important, what's true. You know, is my impulse to act, is my initiative, is my spark of needing to move, is that coming from my heart? Or is there something I need to do to bring myself back into my heart? Getting grounded, breathing, coming into your body, remembering what's true, what's important. Asking those bigger picture questions of what has meaning, what is that need that is inviting us to connect with the bigger picture of love. And we just recently have guest speaker Melissa Perry talking about the Saturn return, and how everybody has a Saturn return, assuming you live to your late 20s. And then that time is a time of maturing. But at this moment, if you're having your Saturn return, you're also having a transit of Neptune to your Saturn at the same time. So learn more about that in my chat with Melissa Perry. Really, really cool stuff to think about. Fascinating. And she talks about the bigger picture of that Neptunian illusion, and where we have been misled and misinformed, or where we might have to have the humility to say, I made a mistake, or I have something to learn. And really, I think that's a lesson, wisdom for us all, whether we're at our Saturn return or not. So it's just so helpful to orient ourselves around what age groups in particular are showing up as being called at this moment to help bring that love forward. And of course, we can have the call, but it's all about how we respond to that, right? Do we want to just tune it out and scroll on our phones, or put the blanket over our head and pretend it's not happening? Or are we willing to do that personal growth, to be love in the world in the ways that are hard, right? In the ways that are not necessarily easy to show up, but are so, so important. So that's the Pisces moon energy and connecting with the heart and connecting with that bigger picture of truth and meaning and just remembering what matters in the big picture and then finding your spark and your zoom, as Judith Tamara called it, your zoom, your zest for life, right? Your drive, your will to go and do something that can make a difference in that bigger picture. So those are some thoughts. You can listen to all of these guest speakers at transformationalastrology.com. I also have, to support you in working with today's eclipse, I have a guided meditation, which I do I put one out every new moon and full moon, but sometimes an eclipse is just the right moment to really get that support. It's only $15. The guided meditation is called New Ideas, Open Doors, and it guides you through just, the audio to listen to, guides you through how to connect with the unknown in ways that help you connect with magic, and how to bring in the sparks and the things that you want to see happen in your life through opening to new possibilities and what that might look like and feel like for you. So that guided meditation, only $15. I will put the link in the description for this video, but you can always find my current guided meditation at astrologyheals.com. Astrologyheals.com is where you can find the guided meditations and book a reading with me. Transformationalastrology.com is where you can go to listen for free with early access to all of the emergence guest speakers. Just such a powerful way to orient ourselves through these important times and these outer planet alignments and big picture, as Louise Eddington took us way out into, not just way out into the galaxy, but also way back in time, giving us the perspective on how many ages, right? Each age lasts over 2,000 years. How many ages have passed since we last had this exact alignment? And then, of course, Sarah El-Harar with the big picture of the sacred geometry. Just really so cool, and such fascinating times we live in. We need to remember that we live in not just crazy times, crazy making times, but also very creative times. We have at this moment possibilities for building things in new ways that is very rare, and it's only ours if we seize it. So these interviews give you some ideas on how to do that, and what might be supportive for you in your own process. So I highly recommend them. Really love chatting with each of these speakers, and we have still more to come. Really great stuff still yet to come. So get a free account at transformationalastrology.com, and you'll be notified with early viewing for each new video as it is released. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing to this YouTube channel. I appreciate you, and I am here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care, in addition to interviewing guests for the Emergence guest speaker series. All right, see you next time. Bye for now.